Hello, 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 everyone. It is Teresa from Teresa's Spot for Art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some fun, simple, and quick art projects. Today is Crazy Hair Day. No, today is Ornament Day. We're going to do some oyster shells. These are, you guys, oyster shells. So now, if you live by the water like me, you could walk down the block for a mile and my husband and I picked these up. We got a whole giant, like, spackle bucket, big bucket, full of these within like 30 minutes, the two of us. And then he carried the bucket home. Then I had to wash them. Wash them took a little bit of time, but that's okay. Then they have this. This is where the mussel attaches to the shell. Yeah, obviously they open up like this. They're a clam shell. They're an oyster shell, though. And it's a very, very dark spot. So I base coated these in white. They're all different sizes, and shapes. And then I have some napkins. So I'm going to go through my napkins and I'm going to see what can go where. So I'm going to just cut this out wide for now. And put this aside. I'm going to see how it's going to fit. It's going to fit pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to, you have to take these apart. Some napkins are 2-ply, some napkins are 3-ply. Sometimes you can put a little piece of tape on both sides and then kind of like pull them apart. Some napkins are more cooperative than others. It just depends. And it's a napkin, y'all. If you get frustrated, move on to another one. It's all okay. It's all good. This is a 2-ply, so that means it has 2 parts. This garbage one for now, and then this one. So I'm just going to carefully take them apart. And you have to take the plies apart, because if you try and Mod Podge and it's the 2-ply, this part is going to stick to your surface and then this side is eventually going to come up. So you have to take them apart. Then I'm going to get this little brush and some clean water. And I'm going to go around. I'm literally painting a water line around this design that I want, the part of the design I want. So then I can come over here and rip it. And now I'm ripping it, and we don't have those harsh edges that I would have if I did them with scissors. The fibers are pulling apart. Sometimes if it dries too quick, you have to wet it again, or only wet it a piece at a time. And then this just gives a much nicer edge. I base coated my shells with white paint to cover up that black spot. I'm going to make sure this fits again. Yep. I'm going to get my Mod Podge, and then my Mod Podge brush here. When working with Mod Podge, the thicker the paper, the thicker your Mod Podge or your varnish or whatever it is you're using to collage with. Okay? In this case, I'm only doing napkins. Napkins tend to be very thin, so this can be thin. When I mean thin, I mean the consistency. So now again, I'm going to eyeball this down. I'm going to gently tap it in the middle. I kind of line it up, and now I'm going out to the sides. These shells are curved, so to get this to lay completely flat would be a chore, and it probably wouldn't happen. You can't really mount something completely flat to a curved surface. So you're going to end up with some wrinkles, but that's okay. These are handmade, and that's fine. And I'm just gently tapping it down with my fingers. I want to make sure we get the edges real good. And what I like about this is now I can just take and scrape along the edge here. And because it's the shell, you can get sander if you want, if you have a sanding block or one of those little yellow hand sanders. But because it's the shell, the extra paper just cuts right off on the side of the shell. And we don't care about that because I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to put this one aside to dry, and we're going to do this one. Get my scissors. And you know I'm only going to cut this penguin out because I'm going to use the rest of the napkin for something else. All right. We want to get our plies apart. Again, be careful. Some napkins are 2-ply, some are 3. You'll know because when you take it apart, the color part with the design will practically be translucent. Okay. I'm going to get my water and I'm going to come in here and cut this out. And I'm just gently following along the water line and ripping this apart. Okay, make sure it fits. Yes, it does. Get my Mod Podge. Nice even coat, but not, we don't want it too thick. Again, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to just tap it into the middle, and then I'm going to gently work my way to the outsides. Okay. Now, once this is a little bit dry, I'm going to come back in here with a clear coat on the top. I know that let the other one sit a little bit longer, but time is of the essence here, so we'll do that. Okay. I'm just going to do 2 of these. So let me just close this up for now and put that aside. So we have these 2. That was my water brush. These are also shells. Let me get my heat gun because there's 2 more. Well, there's 1 more step. So we'll do this one first. Where's the brush I was using for my water? Here it is. So because this shell has a little bit of gold in it, I'm going to take my gold paint and now I'm going to paint around the edge. A little bit of a line around the whole edge of this ornament. And it just gives it like a little finishing touch. You can put a bow on here. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to use twine. I would probably use a shiny ribbon on the back of this if I was doing them for something else. There, I just put a little bit of gold around the edge. And then I can take my twine. Did I leave it out? Yeah. I can take my twine, cut a little piece. Make a small knot in it. And then a little dollop of hot glue and my twine. And we are good to go. Okay, so we have that one. This one, we don't need this whole thing. So I'm going to cut this in half. Lace not, want not. I'm going to do the same thing with this. And I like the red on this one because I use that cute little penguin. So I'm also going to tie a knot. I feel like if you tie a knot at the end of your twine or whatever you're using for your holder, it gives the glue something more substantial to hold on to. So instead of just folding it over and sticking it back there, I make a knot. I could even go back and put a glue over it, a glue dot over it, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna leave it like that. So there is our handle, or hanger, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm gonna open up my Snow-Tex. I don't know if you guys have used this before. It's almost like spackle, but it's a little glittery. I use a popsicle stick for this, and I'm gonna get out a little bit at a time. And I'm just going to scrape it around and fill in these edges. So that's why it didn't matter so much how we cut our napkin. But if you don't know how you're going to do the edges, if you're going to paint them, if you're going to leave them, it's a good idea to do the water method, so then you don't have harsh edges. And I'm just using this stick, and I'm coming in here. Oops. It doesn't take a lot. This will dry hard, and then it'll be on there. I could put a bow up here if I want, another little tiny bow. It's up to you. They're your little ornaments. You can do whatever you want. And there we go. That's the other one. So this is what we've done so far. We've done these Mod Podge oyster shell ones.